Trust Law, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let the record reflect Mr. Moorer is present. Bring in our jury, please. Moore. Thank you, sir. Well, we need a bailiff, don't we? This is a location person. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, the state calls Brian Wilson to the stand.
Okay.
So please raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Brian Wilson, W-I-L-S-O-N.
Mr. Woodson, if you don't mind, tell this jury where you're currently employed.
The Horry County Police Department.
And how long have you been employed there?
Just over 10 years.
And what are your current responsibilities?
I'm a detective assigned to the Robbery Homicide Division.
Okay, and what were your responsibilities in December of 2013?
I was assigned to the Major Crime Section, which has been renamed to the Robbery Homicide.
Okay, and did you have an occasion to assist in this particular case?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and if you don't mind, tell this jury how you assisted in the investigation of this case.
The day that we had to open the investigation, which is, I believe, the 18th of December, I was given a task to go and find video at a kangaroo at Mr. Joe White Avenue and Seaboard Street.
Okay, and if you don't mind, I'm going to show you what's been marked in the state's Exhibit 60. I've already shown it to defense counsel. Do you recognize what this is?
Yes, I do.
And what does this show?
It's the intersection where the kangaroo station sits at Seaboard and Mr. Joe White Avenue.
Okay, and where was the payphone located?
It was on the side of the kangaroo that faces Seaboard Street.
Okay, and is this an accurate depiction of where the payphone was and what's around it?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time the state wishes to admit 60 into evidence and have Mr. Wilson step down and publish it to the jury.
Demonstrative evidence? She's entering that as demonstrative evidence?
You can make it, the jury take it back if it's the purpose of the testimony.
Just demonstrative evidence?
Demonstrative evidence is marked in as 60, it doesn't have to be a video.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you mind stepping in, Mr. Wilson?
But it's only for ID because it will not accompany the jury to the jury.
sorry, Mr. Woods, to speak loud because this lady has got to record what you're
Okay.
saying. Show this jury on this map where the payphone was located.
The payphone's located on the side of the building right here that faces Seaboard Street. It's probably about halfway down the building.
Okay, and what's around that payphone? What buildings?
Just the gas station, this building across the street, and then whatever, the Touch of Romance, but it's behind a wood
Okay.
line.
And at the time, what time frame did you look at for the video?
Just after about 1:30 in the morning?
Okay, and did you obtain video of someone using that payphone?
Yes.
Okay, and did you see a vehicle as well pull up to the payphone?
Not a vehicle, you saw headlights in the shadows, and shortly after you saw the headlights, an image of a person comes from that direction.
Okay, and if you don't mind, did you see someone walk up to the payphone?
Yes, I did.
And tell this jury on this map where you saw them walking from.
They came from this direction, mainly from across the street, it seemed like, and they appeared in the bushes. There's like an opening there, and then came right to the payphone.
Okay, and after they used the payphone, where did you see them walk off?
They walked the same way back across the street.
Okay, and at this point, have you learned who used the payphone?
Yes, I did.
And who was it?
It was Sidney.
Okay, and, but you never saw that truck or any vehicle on the surveillance camera?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, this time I'm going to ask him to take a seat.
Sure.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson, have you since seen the footage of that payphone?
Yes.
And is it accurate of what you collected from Kangaroo that night?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what's on it, is that what you just showed us?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, this time the state wishes to admit that surveillance footage and play it for the jury.
This page, what, 61?
I had it marked, Your Honor, and I thought I put it up here, but I could be wrong.
Don't think I, yes.
Let's
I
see.
think I admitted, yes, so it would be the next exhibit, which is 61. 61. You state 61, video is admitted without objection.
Okay. Your Honor, they already have it. It's marked here, but the video is over there, so she can go ahead and play it.
That's fine.
Thank you. At this time, can we publish it?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Wilson, where is the front of that kangaroo?
The front of it, it faces Mr. Tillard Avenue.
Okay, so that payphone was not by the entrance?
No,
Okay, and, could you get through to the entrance the way he walked away from the payphone?
no.
Okay, and, what was across the street?
It's a commercial building of some
Oh, I'm
sort.
sorry.
It's the South Carolina Air. It's a commercial building of some sort.
And was that place open at that time of night?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. And during that time frame, did you see anybody else walk up to the payphone other than the defendant?
No,
Okay, did you see anybody else drive up to the payphone?
no,
Okay. And would you have known that was him other than him telling the police department?
no,
Okay, you wouldn't have been able to identify him on that payphone?
no.
Now, did you do anything else to assist in this investigation?
I was part of a consent search of their house that either, I think it was the next day or shortly thereafter.
Okay, and did you collect any other surveillance footage, receipts, anything like that to assist?
I did collect a video from McDonald's of Heather going through the drive-thru.
Okay, and when was that?
It was 2 days before.
Okay, so it was much before this video?
Yes,
Okay, and that was just to indicate that at that time she was well and fine and moving around?
yes,
Okay. Now, did you ever go to the defendant's house?
yes.
Okay, and when did you go to the defendant's house?
I believe it was the next day, the 19th.
Okay, and that would have been the 20th?
Yes.
Okay, and who went with you to the defendant's house?
Lieutenant Squires and Lieutenant Sestair.
Okay, and about how long were you at the defendant's house on the 20th?
Probably no more than maybe 2 hours, if that. Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay, and when you went to the defendant's house, did you collect any surveillance footage on 12/20?
No, I didn't.
Okay, and did you see any cameras up at the defendant's house?
There were cameras up, yes, outside, like surveillance, outside surveillance cameras. But we didn't have a system or anything that we took.
Okay, you just saw cameras up on the 20th?
Yes,
Okay, but at that time, you didn't perform any execute a search warrant?
no,
Did you do anything else to assist in this investigation?
I was part of a search warrant on a house a week or so later.
Okay, you mean when he was arrested on February 21st?
Yeah,
Okay, and after that, did you do anything else?
no, I didn't.
Okay, and other than collect this surveillance footage, did you collect any other evidence?
No, I didn't.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor?
Cross-examine.
Just a couple of questions. Do you know why he would not pull his truck up to the payphone or in the parking lot of the store to use the payphone?
No, I don't.
Is it possible he had somebody in the vehicle with him that he didn't want to know he was making a phone call?
It could be possible, yes.
Okay. In your report, you indicated that you and Detective Lent went and interviewed 5 co-employees of Heather's. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Was one of those individuals Dennis Hart?
I don't believe
Recall
so.
the manager?
It may have been, yeah. I thought it was mainly females that we interviewed.
So you don't remember a male?
No, I don't.
You don't remember interviewing the manager?
No, the manager at the time was a female.
Do you remember the name Dennis Hart?
No, I don't.
Okay, nothing further.
Redirect, Solicitor. Got any additional questions?
Just one question. Mr. Wilson, did you have any information that anybody else that night called her from a payphone other than the defendant?
No, I didn't.
No further questions.
Recross.
Nothing more.
Thank you. You may come down. Call your next witness.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. This time, the state calls Joyce Ayland to the stand.
Place your left hand on the Bible. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God? Thank you. State your full name and spell your last name.
Joyce Ayland, A-L-A-N-D.
Okay. And Miss Ayland, where do you currently live?
I live at 7957 Highway 814.
Okay. And about how long have you lived there?
We've lived there for almost 6 years now.
Okay. And at some point, did you put in a surveillance system in your home?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And do you remember about when you put it in?
Around September of 2013.
Okay. And did you have an occasion to turn that footage over from that surveillance to the police department?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you don't mind, tell this jury how that came about, you giving them the footage or the DVR.
In reference to this case?
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
A friend of mine had posted a story about the case on Facebook, and I learned a person of interest lived down the road from me and Googled the address, and it was down below, and to get past my house you'd have to actually to get to the landing, you'd have to go past my house to get from the other end of 814. And I contacted Matt, I believe it was on January 14th, through the Find Heather Elvis page, because I didn't know where to turn tips in to the police department. And I let whoever it was know that I had a surveillance system. If anybody needed to get to the landing from the other end of 814, they would have had to go by my house, and that it was running in December, and I had footage from December 17th to the 19th. I did know for a fact. And I did let them know that I was unplugging the DVR so it wouldn't record over it. And they asked for my phone number and gave it to a detective. A detective called me. I believe I was asked if I had early morning hours of the 17th. I'm not positive, just early morning hours of one of the days.
I'm going to object. This seems a bit non-responsive. I think it's also been answered. The question was simply...
Let's confine it, going into some conversation.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll sustain the objection. Just answer the questions it's supposed to ask, please. Thank you.
It's fine. I know you're just trying to answer my questions. Let me ask you this. Did you give the DVR to the police?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And have you seen the footage from the DVR?
Yes, I have.
And is that from your footage?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And if you don't mind, that states Exhibit 62, and you've seen it, and that's from your house?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And it's got 2 camera views?
Yes, ma'am. There's camera 1, which is my front porch view, which actually goes down 814. And there's also camera view 2, which is going towards the landing from my driveway.
And does your video show anything on it?
It shows a vehicle going down the road, coming from the other end of 814 from Fetlock Way, going past the house and slowing on its brakes after it passes as if we're going to stop at a stop sign, which is at the end of the road. And then it just catches vehicles going up and down the road.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, I wish to put State's Exhibit 62 in the evidence and publish it to the jury.
No objection.
And Ms. Ayland, if you don't mind, take a look at this and tell us if this is off your footage.
State 62 is admitted without objection. May be published.
Did we dim the light?
The light's fine for me. That's actually my driveway with my white vehicle, my SUV's next to it. The light you're seeing is across the street in,
I didn't hear a question.
No. She
That's okay, Miss Ann. I'm gonna have some questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's all right, that's all necessary.
Ms. Salem, is that an accurate representation of how dark it is out there on 814?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I couldn't help but notice it seemed like a lot of traffic. Is that a main road or a secondary road?
It's a secondary road. The main road's 544.
Okay, okay. So that's an accurate depiction of how dark it is out there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. It's a secondary road of 544. I'm going to show you. Whoa. This has already been marked. This is state's evidence number 8. You see Highway 814 up here?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, if you don't mind, could she step down?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to try to. Are you familiar with these roads?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if you don't mind, where can you approximate about on 814 where your house is?
Approximately about right here where this line would be. My next door neighbor is literally right across the street from Peachtree Road. So about right there, that's how far away from Peachtree Drive I would be.
Okay. And where does Peachtree Drive go to?
Peachtree Drive comes up and it turns into, it stays into Peachtree, but ends up going up to Peachtree Grocery. And you can also exit out onto 544 that way as well.
Okay. So coming down this way, you can actually turn here to get on 544 as well?
Yes, ma'am. If you're coming down 814, you can take Peachtree and get out onto 544.
Okay, is this accurate? There's a stop sign here shortly after your house?
Yes, ma'am. It's actually 7 trailers down.
Okay. And if you don't mind, when you take a left, where do you go?
When you take a left, you go down towards 544.
Okay.
It's on Mill Pond. That's Mill Pond Road. When you take a left at the stop sign, or right, it's Mill Pond. You'll go to 544 if you take a left. If you take a right, then you're going to go down towards the other Peachtree Road, which goes to the boat landing and stuff.
Okay, so there's actually 2 exits out to 544.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now how about on the other end of Highway 814? Can you get on 544 further down?
Yes, ma'am. You can actually take Roscoe.
Okay.
Roscoe is actually, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, the last exiting road to 544.
Okay.
Besides the very end where you get down to Fetlock, which comes up next to CVS to 544.
Okay, so from one end of 814, which is up there by CVS,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
get on all the way to this stop sign. There's approximately, counting this exit, 4 ways to get to Highway 544.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Would you ever go down Mill Pine Road to get to 544?
No, ma'am.
Okay. 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 Thank you, Ms. Haley.
You're welcome.
Ms. Halen, I think I have forgotten, when did you buy the DVR?
I bought the DVR in around September 2013.
Okay. And did you ever set the time back in November for daylight savings?
No, we set it to the cable box when we bought it and hooked it up, which was the time we went on. And in our opinion, anything past 2002 should automatically update daylight savings time. Our phone does and everything, so we never manually did it, no.
Okay, so you bought it in September and you never took the time back an hour for daylight savings?
No.
Okay. Okay. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor?
cross-examine.
Yes, sir. Ms. Ayman, I'm going to be really, really brief with you, okay? But I'd just like you to step down one more time. If you don't mind, I want to ask you about these roads real quick. Let's take another look at this. All right, can you,
My house would be
Okay.
about right here.
so your house is between Peachtree Drive and Mill Pond Road
Yes,
on 814, so
Yes.
it's in here.
yes, sir.
Okay. So if you come up here and turn left, you would go to 544.
Yes, sir.
If you turn right on Mill Pond, that's going to bring you all the way, you're familiar with DNS Site Works? The
The
business?
concrete
Mhm.
business, yes, sir.
And that's on Mill Pond Road somewhere in
Yes,
here?
sir. It's about, not even a mile past the turn right here. You go down here, it's about right in here, I would say.
So somewhere in here is DNS.
Mhm.
So if you turn right, you pass DNS, right?
Is that yes, ma'am?
Yes, sorry.
And then, does that bring you all the way down then to Peachtree Road?
Yes, sir, it does. It brings you to Peachtree Road.
And I think I said something wrong before. This is Peachtree Drive up here.
Yes,
so not-
this is Peachtree Drive, and it turns into Peachtree Lane when it goes down to go to the convenience store. The convenience store is right here, and then 544.
Okay. So when you get to Peachtree Road on Mill Pond Road,
Mhm.
you would, if you wanted to go to the landing, you would turn right and go this way.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you turn left, you could go back out to 544 on Old 544, correct?
No, sir. It would take you to the swing bridge. The
Oh,
road
I'm
would
sorry,
just-
you're right, right into Socastee.
Right into Socastee, yes, sir.
So is that where like Socastee High School is?
You
Over
actually,
the bridge?
you have to go across the bridge and take a left to get to the high school and everything.
Yes, so this would then, if you turn left, this would bring you into accessing the Socastee area around the high school and restaurants and shops and things like that. With
It would bring you
fast food
to,
places in there, if you went over to Spring.
if you went over the swing bridge, yes.
Okay.
But if you just took the road, it would take you to the bridge, the overpass bridge.
Now, let's take 841 from your house back to the end of 841.
814.
I'm sorry,
It's okay.
814. There are at least 4 secondary roads that can get you to 544. Is that correct?
2.
2. Okay, and then what about the end of 814 as
That
well?
would be the second one.
Okay, so there's only one other road, and that, the name
Roscoe.
of that road is Roscoe?
Roscoe, to my knowledge, that's the only other road that you can get to 544 on 814.
Okay, and then at the end of 814,
It turns into Fetlock, that the
and that
last,
would take you to 544.
take you to 544.
Okay. And what about past your house at 814 to the left?
There are no road.
Okay.
There's a dirt road that goes into, it's actually 2 doors down. There's a dirt road to the left, and it goes back to an empty lot. They were gonna do a development back there or something, but they never did.
So really, one of my last questions is, the route to Peachtree Road is Mill Pond to Peachtree this way? Or downtown Socastee,
Swing bridge.
Swing Bridge, thank you, up this way and straight down?
Yes, sir.
And can you think of any other ways to get to the landing other than down Mill Pond or back up from Socastee?
No, sir, because even if you took 31, you'd have to get on Mill Pond to get to Peachtree Road.
And where would 31 get you to Mill Pond? How would you get there from 31?
31, you'd have to come all the way back down 544 and come down Mill
Yeah, so you'd
Pond.
still be on Mill Pond. So
Yeah,
it's
you'd have to
Mill
come to
Pond
Mill
or
Pond.
Socastee.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have to ask on this.
Okay.
You can sit. Have you had a lot of, prior to law enforcement getting involved, did you have a lot of inquiries about your home video from other people before the detectives?
No.
Okay. Did you personally, I guess you did because you said you did, reviewed your video, your home surveillance video?
I did. I made sure that I had December on there. I didn't want to contact somebody if I didn't have any information. They need to follow real tips.
Do you recall if there was any other vehicles that were suspect of being Heather Elvis's vehicle driving towards the landing on your?
It was never discussed with me. None of the vehicles were discussed with me with going down the landing, down the road or anything.
Going or coming back?
Going or coming back. No one's ever asked.
Just this time period in that vehicle that
Yeah.
we're talking about today?
Just the time period, yes, sir.
Okay, so outside of the time period we watched today, there may be vehicles that passed by or came back, but we just haven't got that right now. Or we haven't, that hasn't been asked of you.
I haven't been asked to review it recently. I can't state to us whether there is or not, because I don't have that good of a memory, honestly. So when I looked at the video, I don't know. Whenever I checked to see if I had the December 17th, I don't know.
So today you don't know if any other vehicles went by either direction that night other than this one, from memory?
From memory, yes, sir.
That's all I've got, John.
Read the record.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, David. You can step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's, at this point, recess for the evening, unless you have a witness.
One more witness, Your Honor.
One more witness, okay, we'll do that, thank you.
At this time, the state calls David Quant to the stand.
Yeah.
I'll get him to pronounce it correctly.
Please raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. You solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
David S. Quant, Q-U-A-N-T-T.
David, how do you pronounce your last name?
Quant.
Okay. If you don't mind, tell us where you live.
I live off of Ely Trail, which is off of Peachtree Road in
Okay.
Socastee.
Okay. And if you don't mind, where do you work?
I work at DNS Site Work on Mill Pond Road, which is around the corner.
Okay. Now, DNS Site Works, what are your responsibilities there?
I'm one of the owners there.
Okay. And do you have surveillance cameras at DNS Site Works?
Yes, ma'am.
And you probably already answered it, and I missed it. What road is DNS Site Works on?
On Mill Pond Road.
Okay. And when did you put in surveillance cameras?
June of 2013.
Okay. And did you happen to have an occasion to talk to the police about your surveillance cameras?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And approximately when was that? I know it's been a while back.
I think it was like the morning of Christmas Eve. I think we were closed one day, and they approached me about the
Okay, and tell the story a little bit about that.
I was driving by the office, and then I noticed a car out front of our place of business, and I kind of pulled in there and talked to him, asked him what was going on, can I help him? And he said, yeah, your video surveillance cameras, kind of look at him. He told me who he was, and then I proceeded to open the office door and went inside, and I pulled the cameras up, the footage up of the time frames that he wanted. And we did that. And
Okay. And did you give them a copy of the footage?
we did.
And have you seen it since then?
No, ma'am, I don't think I've seen it.
Okay. I'm showing you now what states Exhibit 63.
Okay.
By any chance, have you seen a picture of your surveillance camera footage from December
Yes.
of 2013?
Yes.
Okay. And is that a true and accurate view of your video surveillance?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay. And when the police came and told you about your surveillance system, was the time ticking on it?
Yes, ma'am, I had a time frame on it.
Okay, and how many camera views do you have?
I think there's 5.
Okay, and where's the monitor for them?
It is in the office.
Okay, and when you look up there, can you see all 5 running?
You can see 4 running there right now, you can.
Okay, and it's like a split screen?
They're all split up in 4 different sections.
Okay, and how many point towards Mill Pond?
2 and then maybe 1 at one. One's on a swivel, it pivots, so 2 all the time, then 1 swivels.
Okay, and the footage that you reviewed, or when the police came and talked to you, what was the time on your footage correct by your watch?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it had automatically set itself for daylight savings time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when y'all were sitting there viewing the footage and you looked at your watch, it was the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, this time the state wishes to put into evidence State's Exhibit 63.
No objection.
Without objection, State 63 is admitted and may be published.
Thank you, Your Honor. And if you don't mind, just to give this jury a reference point, are you familiar, I'm showing State's Evidence number 8, are you familiar with all these roads?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is DNS Site Works on Mill Pine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and about where is it located along Mill Pine?
Probably halfway in between on this road right here, probably right in here somewhere maybe.
Okay, if you don't mind, can you step down and show the jury that?
Yes, ma'am.
Our place of business is probably in this area right here.
I ask you to look at it and you tell me if that's off your surveillance camera.
Okay.
David, if you don't mind, tell us, that's your surveillance footage?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you looked at your clock on that day and time, it matched your clock?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you don't mind, what did you see at 3:39?
Vehicle go by towards Peachtree Road.
Okay, if you don't mind, just so we can get some reference, you mind stepping down again, I'm sorry? Uh-oh, we don't keep rid of this. Okay, when we first see that vehicle at 3:39, which way is that heading, so this jury can have a reference point? Okay. And if you don't mind, what did you see another vehicle at 3:46? And if you don't mind, explain to them what direction it's going at 3:46. Okay. So the first time it's going down this way, second time coming back. Okay, if you don't mind, hold on right there, I'm going to ask you to give me one more thing. You mind holding this for me? Stop. David, if you don't mind, just right up there, 339, And which way you see that car? Yep. Yep, just
No, I'm
read a picture.
objective.
I got terrible handwriting.
She's telling me what to write on the board. I understand that.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Just overrule. I understand.
Right.
you.
339.
And if you don't mind that, just right up here what you saw at 339. Okay? And if you don't mind, put the time right beside it so we'll have a reference point. Was it AM or PM? Okay, you mind add that just so we can keep it? And if you don't mind, right up there what you saw on the video after that.
Easy.
If you don't mind, right beside that, about what time you saw that. All right, is that accurate to what you saw on your surveillance camera? Thank you, David. Have a seat. Now, on this, sorry. Show me again in this jury where DNS is.
Here's the Ryan's location.
Okay.
Right here. Approximately halfway between 814 and Peachtree Road, right in here somewhere.
When you leave DNS site works, how do you get to 544?
Take a left on Mill Pond Road. 544 is right here.
And about how long have you been at DNS site works?
At that current location, I think of October of 2011, so what is that, 5, 6 years probably?
Okay.
5 years, 6 years.
And about how long have you lived out in that area?
Since roughly 2000, so 16 years.
And can you get from 814 to Peachtree Landing without passing your DNS site works?
You can, but you have to go around the long way to 544. You can go that way.
Okay. And would that be the quickest way?
No, ma'am.
And would that be the way you would go?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And if you don't mind, tell this jury how you would get to Peachtree Landing from 814.
If I was coming out 814, I would stop at the stop sign at where 814 and Mill Pond intersect. You'd take a right, then go down towards the stop sign, which Peachtree Road and Mill Pond intersect, then take another right, and it'll take you to Peachtree Landing.
And are 814 and Mill Pond main roads or secondary roads?
Secondary roads,
Okay.
I'll consider.
And is that that video that we just saw of your surveillance footage, is that an accurate depiction of how dark Mill Pond Road is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are there any or many street lights on Mill Pond Road?
No, ma'am.
No further questions, Ryan?
Cross-examine.
How would you get to Peachtree Landing if you were coming from, for lack of a better word, downtown Socastee?
You would take a left on, if you was coming across downtown Socastee, you would take a left across the drawbridge, which would be Peachtree Road, take a left and go straight.
Okay,
To the end.
so that would be the most convenient way if you're coming from there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and because she'd asked you if you're coming from 814, which was the other way, you said.
Right.
Okay. When you said that, when she asked you, do you look at your watch and look at the time on the monitor and it's the same, you're not saying that you were watching this at 3 whatever in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you wrote on that last one, when she was asking you to write down, you wrote 3, did you write 317?
I think it's 3:39 or something when it came, the vehicle, first vehicle come by.
347.
When it came back by or something, yeah.
You put a 3-4 with a question mark.
And that's my writing's terrible, it's probably
So
7.
347?
Yes, sir.
So it's 346 on there.
Something like that, yeah, something.
Okay. Now, when they contacted you about the surveillance footage, you testified that they asked you for a specific time period of footage.
Yes, when we went in the office, yes.
Do you recall specifically what that specific time period was?
In the 3:30 range, 4 o'clock range.
So give or take a 30-minute range?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they wouldn't have the footage available for 45 minutes before or 45 minutes after, likely, based on what they asked for me. Or even 30 minutes back and forth.
Say it again.
They would have 30 minutes worth of footage, basically, is about what you're saying.
Once they asked for that footage, when they told me what they wanted, that's what we narrowed it down.
Okay, and what again was it they told you they wanted?
Well, then it was 336 to 350 in the area. Once we watched the footage.
Okay, how much of the footage did you watch? If you remember.
I don't remember.
Hours?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's all I've got.
Ready with that?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step back.
Your Honor, may this witness be excused?
Any objection?
No, sir.
You're also free to leave, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes the testimony.
Your Honor, due to the time, do you want to begin our next witness tomorrow morning?
Well, what I need to find out, the viewing deals with the 2 videos that we've just seen. Is that correct? That's what the signage is going to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's a good stopping point. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to stop this evening, and I'm going to accommodate you to some extent. You said you want to start a little earlier. We're going to have, there are times, and the statute provides for a jury to view certain scenes of the trial. It's really for perspective and nothing more. It's not additional evidence. It just allows you to relate some of the evidence to what you're actually seeing on the ground. Tomorrow we're going to assemble at 8:30. We're going to get on a bus. We're going to ride. We're going to take a trip, and we're going to ride by these cameras. They're going to be marked where they were so that you get a perspective of what you've been seeing on the video. Then we'll return. There will be no conversation, be no questions, no discussions. You can't ask any questions. You can't talk among yourselves. We're just going to ride. Be a very quiet ride, but we'll accompany you. And then when we get back here, we'll take a break, and then we'll start taking the testimony. So if you would be in your jury room, please, by, let's say, 8:20 tomorrow, that'll make sure that we have everybody in place. And I think there's a bus that we're going to make arrangements for a bus, and we'll leave. Have a great evening. Remember, again, you're not at liberty to talk with anyone, including anyone at home. Don't conduct any independent research. Don't watch any news programs or read any newspapers. We'll go through the same process tomorrow with the oath. Have a great evening. Thank you for your attention. All right, anything further to say?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Anything further? No, Your Honor. We'll be at ease until, let's be here about 8:15, folks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'll administer the oath when I get back. You don't have to.
Here?
I would say 9 would be safe.